What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to Hunting Tales. So I came across some information that I think is extremely disturbing and eerie, and perhaps even insightful. Now, I told you guys of some first-hand experience that I've had with the DOGMAN and werewolves. I don't know. I mean, that's not what I called it when I saw it. I mean, for one, I was terrified, motionless, and it was standing over me. Like I said, the pointy ears, the garb. It was some sort of intelligent entity. It wasn't a monster, like you would think of the Dogman / werewolves that we see in various media and fantasy. But nonetheless, now there's another situation that came upon me just a couple years ago, but I think I'm going to save that for the end of this video. You guys got to hear this. I didn't know about this. Every time I hear about Dogman or werewolves, I just think of something that's from the depths, you know? Something that's evil, perhaps. Something that's not good. But this case that happened some time ago makes me question everything. Have you guys heard of this? It's called the Hounds of God. Werewolves, werewolf, and lichens. Is that how you say that, or is that license? Let me know in the comments. It's about some guy from long ago, a couple hundred years ago, right? You remember when they had the witch trials and all that? They're burning the witches at the stake. They were thinking about burning this guy because he claimed to be a werewolf, but what happened to him is astonishing. In the late 1600s, 1692 to be exact, in Jurgenberg, Livonia, a very old man, about 80 years old, named Theus, claimed to be a werewolf. Why would anyone in their right mind make such a claim in a time period of witch hunts, where those found to be serving the devil would be burned at the stake or worse, tortured? Theus claimed that werewolves were not monsters or agents of the devil, but rather they were benevolent creatures of God, who he called the Hounds of God. Their souls would ascend to heaven when they died, and they were in the favor of God and worked tirelessly to defend the souls of the earth with God's blessing of the werewolf gift. The werewolves would bravely descend into the very depths of hell to do battle with the demons and the witches, preventing them from escaping into this world to wreak havoc on the earth. He claimed that when the Hounds of God failed to keep the witches and demons in hell, that this was the cause for the bad crop seasons, and that when the werewolves succeeded, that was why the crops flourished when they did. If it were not for the Hounds of God, this world would be overrun with demons and witches, who would cause all mortals to endure unspeakable sufferings. Werewolves were heroes. Of course, the judges were not exactly convinced. But what person with a beating heart would condemn an 80-year-old man to be burned at the stake? The judges must have took pity on him for being out of his wits, for they let him off fairly easy and only sentenced him to 10 lashes. Wow! I mean, it's just... Now, there's more to this that I'm going to cover in a later video. But what do you guys think about that? It's interesting how dogs and wolves are like guardians of a sort. And what's also interesting, if we're talking about God, like these folks in this day, obviously, I don't know if they were they Catholic or something. They're a Christian of some sort. They believe in the God of heaven and earth, the God of the Old and New Testament, right? They believed in Jesus Christ. with that being said, if you factor those things in, you consider the book of Genesis, right? It talked about the Nephilim. It talked about the sons of God. Who, look this up, it's in Genesis 6, who made offspring with the daughters of man. All right? They made what's called the Nephilim. Look that up. To my understanding, and to my speculation, it's possible that these Nephilim are sons of God, or the offspring thereof anyway, could be these entities of old that we know. Like the old gods of the past. Talking about Zeus, Hercules, all those other ones, right? Those ancient pharaohs, those big sculptures, this, that, and the third. Anubis, not Wolf One. Some say that it's Bigfoot, Sasquatch, werewolves, all these other things that are perhaps even around today. I don't know, maybe they have higher technology or something. Maybe they're able to cloak, or we can't see them or discover them somehow. Only some people still do. So they say anyway. But according to the Old Testament, I don't know, it said that these were men of renown. And I don't know, there was all sorts of weird stuff going on back in the day, according to the Bible. Maybe even some bestiality, right? Maybe there was some sort of hybrid spiritual beings that were made. But nonetheless, I mean, this guy, he said that they were for the forces of good, you know? Of course, it could have been a deception. But I'm curious, what do you all have to say about that? I've always considered these guys, well, just werewolves and this and that, and DOGMAN is what they're calling it now for some reason. I don't really know. Why are they all calling it DOGMAN now? I just know these things as werewolves. But my understanding was these things are always evil. Of course, when I was a kid and I had that encounter, if you will, that I've talked about in other videos, I didn't really have the impression that that being was evil. I just had the impression that it was watching me. For some reason, I don't know. It was observing me. Some I know would say it was protecting me, but I just don't know. I mean, where is it now? But some folks, I don't know, they're saying that these things are out there. And isn't it sort of an interesting thought? What if they are part of this whole spiritual battle? You know, some say that there's like a battle between heaven and hell or whatever. They say that there's Armageddon coming up. The devil and his army against God and his. Legions and legions of this and that. I mean, maybe these werewolves or whatever are part of it. That's interesting, isn't it? And I was reading on some of the comments of this post, and people were saying, oh yeah, God himself isn't really made in an image of like man or whatever. Maybe it sort of makes sense that he'd accept these sort of things. I don't know, these sort of hybrids or whatever. I mean, what if these are offspring from the sons of God? You know? If that's the case, I guess anything goes. But I'm going to cover more of this stuff in a future video. I don't want to make this one too long. I just came across this now. This opens up so much, but I'm going to be covering more encounters, more modern day encounters with Dogman, werewolves, and other things of the paranormal, perhaps. Bigfoot, perhaps, cryptids on this channel. So subscribe to this page, hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. Blessings to my patrons. Links in the description below if you want to support these videos. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace be with you.